looks like the promotion race over in League 2 will go down to the bloody wire. That's right, we're still none the wiser as to who's going to go up and of course who will be in the playoffs. We're going to take a look at the latest coming at you next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about match number 44, that's right, coming at you this coming Easter Monday. And we'll get to it in a second. Of course, if you know where you've been, smash your subscribe and your sub shop for Blackburn Rovers, League 2, World Football. We're going to all here on the one Rooski. We're all Cantona here, but let's get it fixed. Currently, Port Vale top the charts, 76 points for the season. Walsall down into 4th right now, 73 points for the season. We'll take a look at what went on last time around. Of course, then we'll look forward to this weekend's drama in just a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons, you know who you are. So sit tight, hold on, let's bring it bang up to date before we kick on forward to this weekend's, this good Monday, Easter Monday's drama then, shall we? So here we go, recapping the results. They're on the screen right about now. As you see it, Bradford City could only draw with Notts County 1-1 in the end. I went with a 2-0 win. Wimbledon also drew with Chesterfield 0-0. Bromley picking up 1-1 over Morecambe, who do look like they're going to go down. Carlisle on the other side, big 3-2 winners over Port Vale. I did go with a draw on that one. Cheltenham and Gillingham ended up all square as well. Meanwhile, another draw, Colchester 0, Crewe 0, and also Fleetwood Town 0, and Barrow 0. Draws galore over in League 2. Meanwhile, Swindon Town put 4 past Grimsby in the Ian Holloway derby. MK Dons 0-0 draw against Newport County for Paul Warren's first match. Accrington Stanley with a 2-1 away win over Salford to boost their own survival hopes. And Doncaster with a 3-0 win over Tranmere to go closer to the mark there. And I went 2-0 win as well. Walsall did manage a 2-2 draw in the end over Harrogate Town, but no win for the Saddlers. Let's get on forward then, take a look at the table as it is right here, right now. Sit tight and bring it onto the screen right about now. As you see, it is Port Vale, 76 points for the charge. Doncaster in second, Bradford City are in third, but it could all go drastically wrong for the Bantams. With Walsall still in the mixer there, Wimbledon could close in on them as well. Can't even ride out Notts County at the moment for those automatic spots. Meanwhile, the race for the playoffs is tighter, but still a little bit of a mystery of who's going to be in there. You would say Walsall are there or thereabouts. Wimbledon probably have enough to be in there. They're 4 points clear at the moment, but it could all drastically change this coming Monday as, again, the games come thick and fast. So that's the situation there, of course. We do have a prediction league, so keep on going. Do your thing over there. I'll bring you bang up to date when we enter those playoffs, which won't be that long away. So sit tight and hold on for those. But these are the next round of games, guys, and they're coming at you this coming Monday. No rest for the wicked. We have a couple, at least one early kickoff, and it is Newport County up against those former table toppers, that is Walsall. Come at you over in Wales, that's right. Nelson Jardim's boys are 18th at the table. They got 48 points for the season. They're winless, though, in the last 6 matches. Up against Walsall, who are in 4th with 73 points. They are winless in the last 11. Now, they played 12 times in 2017. 4 wins Newport, 2 wins Walsall, and then 6 draws between the two sides. Last time around, over at the old Newport, it was a 3-3 draw way back in October 2023. The reverse fixture at the best Scott, it was a 2-0 win for Walsall way back in December this calendar year, or this past few months away. Walsall on the back of that 2-2 draw against Harrogate Town. Newport away draw as well for them. Pick up a 0-0 draw against MK Dons. The bookies odds on this one, they'll go with Walsall despite their 11-game winless run. I've gone with a 2-1 win for Newport County. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore. I don't believe in them. I think they're going to fall right at the last hurdle here. 2-1 win, Newport County getting the win. In fact, it is probably a favourable fixture for Walsall because Walsall also quite toothless up top. Let's go Accrington Stanley up against Carlisle, a bit of a Northwest crunch clash coming over at Accrington. John Doolan's boys are 21st, 46 points for the season. They're coming into on the back of a win. In fact, back-to-back games without a loss for them. Up against Carlisle, though, who are 23rd with 40 points for themselves. They've won 3 on their bounce. Now, they played 16 times these two sides in 2004. 5 wins for Stanley, 8 wins for Carlisle, and there's been 3 draws between the two sides. Last time around, of course, over at Accrington, it was a 3-0 win in the league way back in September 2017. That was in League 2. The reverse fixture this campaign was a 2-1 win for Carlisle over in their own backyard there. Coming at you, though, standing on the back of that 2-1 win over Salford. Carlisle with that 3-2 win over Port Vale. Big wins for Carlisle of late. Bookies odds on this one, Stanley are favoured for the victory here, but I'm going to go and back Mark Hughes' boys. They've got a bit between the teeth right now, and they might just have enough in the tank to do the great escape. 1-0 winners, Carlisle on the road. Barrow, though, they're up against Tranmere, also trying to get themselves out of the drop zone. Well, not in the drop zone, they're hanging above the drop zone. But Barrow coming at you with Andrew Wing at charge, 15th for the table, just one defeat in the last 6 up against Tranmere. And Andrew Crosby still at the helm, just one defeat in the last 4. Now, they played 17 times since 2015, 5 wins Barrow, 8 wins Tranmere. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. Last time they played over at Barrow, it was a 1-0 win for Barrow back in January 2024. The reverse fixture over at Prenton Park, it was a 1-1 draw. Is it right? Prenton Park? It was a 1-1 draw way back in December 2024. Barrow on the back of that 0-0 draw against Fleetwood. Tranmere on the back of a 3-0 loss to Doncaster. They've won 1, lost 1, drawn 1 over the last 3. The odds for this one, Barrow just about edge it. I've gone with a 2-1 win as well for Barrow as Tranmere feel the pinch, of course, with Carlisle breathing down next. Crewe Alexandra taking on MK Dons, coach at Grimsby Road. Lee Bell's boys are 11th in the table, just 1 win the last 6 up against MK Dons and Paul Warren, who are winless in also the winners in the last 6 matches. They sit 19th right now, 47 points for the season, and play Crewe 24 times since the year 2000. 8 wins for Crewe. We have MK Dons on the back of 11 wins, and there's been 5 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Grimsby Road, it was a 3-1 win for Crewe way back in September 2023. The reverse fixture, a 1-1 draw at Stadium MK back in December. Milton Keynes on the back of a 0-0 draw against Newport County. They've gone 4 games without a goal, have MK Dons. Crazy stuff. Crewe, though, on the back of a 0-0 draw away to Colchester. The odds right here, right now, we do have Crewe in the driving seat, but I do think Paul Warren will get something out of this game. I'll go with a draw and maybe a goal, and then maybe MK Dons can start to move in the right direction as the season comes to a close. Doncaster Rovers up against Colchester United, coming at you at the Keep Moat. Doncaster under Grant McCann. They look good right now, sitting second, 75 points for the season up against Colchester and Danny Cowley, unbeaten in the last 4. They sit 7th with 66 points for the campaign. Now, they played 17 times in 2004. We have 9 wins Doncaster, 4 wins Colchester. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. Last time around at the Keep Moat was a 3-1 win for Doncaster back in November 2023. The reverse fixture, a 1-1 draw at Colchester back in December. Colchester on the back of a 0-0 draw against Crewe. Most recently, they've gone 3 clean sheets on the spin for them, up against Doncaster on the back of a 3-0 win over Tranmere last time around at Tranmere as well. Doncaster expected to win. The bookies are going with them. I've gone with a 2-1 win as well, which puts a massive dent in Colchester's dreams for those playoff spots. Chesterfield Town up against is it Chesterfield Town? Chesterfield up against Bradford City. Came at Chesterfield, that's right. Chesterfield under Paul Cook right now. They sit 9th on the outside, looking in up against Bradford, who sit 3rd under Graham Alexander and with 74 points. Now, they played Chesterfield 27 times in 2004, 7 wins. Chesterfield 14 wins Bradford. There's been 6 draws between the two sides. The hosts, though, coming into on 67% form for them, just 1 defeat in the last 6 against Bradford under Graham Alexander, just 1 win in the last 5 matches. Now, they played last time around competitively. If we go back in the league, they last played at Chesterfield. It was a 1-0 win for Bradford way back in October 2016. That was in League One. The reverse fixture this season at Valley Parade. At Valley Parade. It was a 2-1 win for Bradford back in December. Bradford on the back of a 1-1 draw against Notts County. Chesterfield also drawing with Wimbledon last time around. The odds right here, right now. Chesterfield have the edge. Bradford on a slippery slope, perhaps. Gone with a 1-0 win. Chesterfield, Paul Cook taking the 3 points and moving the change. Gillingham and Gareth Ainsworth up against Wimbledon. That's right. Camacho in the south east coast there. Gareth Ainsworth's boys are 17th right now, 51 points for the season. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6, but they've drawn 5 of the last 6 matches. Wimbledon and Johnny Jackson also drawing 4 of the last 6. Does smell like a draw, this bad boy, and they've played 22 times since 2011. There's been 6 wins for Gillingham. There's been 10 wins for Wimbledon. There's been 6 draws between the two sides. 51 points for Gillingham right now, 17th in the season up against 5th place Wimbledon, who are on 70 points for the campaign. Now, they last played over at Gillingham. It was a 1-0 win for the Gills way back in November 2023. The reverse fixture at Plough Lane was a 1-0 win for Wimbledon way back in December. Wimbledon on the back of a back-to-back draws for them. Gillingham on the back of a back-to-back, they're unbeaten at least the last 6. Just 1 goal conceded in the last 2. But the odds for this one, they have Wimbledon as the favourites. I've gone with Gillingham to nick it 1-0. Again, putting the cat amongst the pigeons for Wimbledon's playoff hopes. Meanwhile, Morecambe, they need a must-win up against Salford, coming at you over at Morecambe. Derek Adams' boys are looking doom and gloom right now. 24th at the table, rock bottom, 36 points for the campaign. They've lost 3 on the spin. Up against Salford, Carl Robinson, who sits 10th right now, 62 points for the season. Just 1 win in the last 5 matches. Now, they played 7 times in 2019, 2 wins Morecambe, 4 wins Salford. There's been 1 draw between these two sides. Last time around over at Morecambe. It was a 1-0 win for Morecambe way back in September 2023. The reverse fixture at Salford, also a 1-0 win, but this time for Salford back in December. Of course, Salford on the back of that 2-1 loss to Accrington. Stanley. Morecambe losing to Bromley. Back-to-back games now without a goal for Morecambe. The bookies' odds on this one probably will go with Salford. Yes, they do. Again, I'm going with the upset, perhaps. 1-0 win Morecambe to make it spicy down the foot of the table. Harrogate Town against Fleetwood Town. Coming over at Harrogate. Simon Weaver's boys are 20th right now. 47 points for the season. Just one defeat in the last 6. Also, draw Keynes, picking up 4 draws in the last 6. Up against Fleetwood with Pete Wild at the helm. Winless in the last 3. They sit 14th right now with 57 points for the campaign. They played 5 times since 2008. Just 1 for Harrogate, 2 wins Fleetwood, and there's been 2 draws between the two sides. Speaking of draws, the last time that these two sides played, it was a 1-1 draw. That was at Fleetwood back in December. The reverse fixture, or the last time they played at Harrogate, it was a 1-0 win for Fleetwood way back in March 2010. That was in the National League North. Goodness gracious me. Harrogate, though, on the back of that 2-2 draw at the Bescott against Walsall. Fleetwood drawing with Barrow in the Pete Wild derby last time around. The odds right here, right now, it is tight, very, very tight. Could go either way, but the edge just goes with Harrogate. I'm going with a 1-1 draw right now. Point right and on the middle for each side. Notts County, they're up against it, taking on Cheltenham Town to keep their dreams alive of automatics, perhaps. Up against Cheltenham, they played 14 times in 2003, 7 wins Notts County, 4 wins Cheltenham. There's been 3 draws between the two sides. The hosts, winless though in the last 3 matches, they sit 6th with 69 points. Up against Cheltenham under Michael Flynn, 60 for the table, 54 points for the campaign. Back-to-back games unbeaten now, of course. Last time they played over at Notts County, it was a 3-0 win for Cheltenham way back in November 2018. The reverse fixture this season, we had an 8-goal thriller. It was a 5-3 win for Notts County when these two sides locked horns at Cheltenham. Cheltenham, of course, on the back of that 1-1 draw against Gillingham. Notts County the same on the back of a draw against Bradford City. The odds right here, right now. What are we looking at? We're looking at Notts County with a win. That's what the bookies are going with. I'm going with a 2-0 win as well. Back in the bookies, back in the hosts with a 3-pointer in the air. Meanwhile, tabletop Port Vale taking on Grimsby. Come out at Vale Park. Darren Moy's boys are top of the pops right now, 76 points for the season, but they're coming into on the back of a defeat. Grimsby under David Artell, they sit 8th right now, 66 points for the season, just 1 win in the last 4. Now, they played 27 times, these two sides, since 1994, 8 wins for Port Vale, 13 wins for Grimsby, and there's been 6 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time that they played competitively at Port Vale, it was a 3-0 win for Port Vale back in January 2021. The reverse fixture this season at Grimsby was a 3-0 win for Grimsby back in December. The hosts on the back of a 3-2 loss to Carlisle. Grimsby with a 4-0 loss to Swindon. Wow. The odds right here right now. Port Vale expected to win. Grimsby's hopes in tatters. 3-1 win, and that should edge them closer. That's for the hosts to promotion. That's right. And then Swindon Town up against Bromley. Is it mathematically possible for Swindon Town to get in there? They sit 12th right now. 66 points for the season. They won 4 in the spin up against Bromley under Andy Woodman. They sit 13th right now. 59 points for the campaign. Just 1 defeat in the last 4. Now they played just once. These two sides. It was the reverse fixture. It was at Bromley back in December 2024. Bromley, though, on the back of that 1-0 win over Morecambe. Meanwhile, Swindon actually back-to-back home wins for Bromley, back-to-back clean sheets at home as well. Swindon, though, they have scored, get this, I don't even know how this is possible. They've scored, 15 goals in the last 4 games combined. That's over 4 goals a match, I believe. Something like that. Anyway, they're scoring for fun right now, and they're expected to win this game as well. I've gone with a Swindon victory over Bromley, 2-0 win to have a table that looks a little bit like this, guys. As you see it, Port Vale lead the charge. Doncaster in 2nd, and Bradford are in 3rd. Going down Carlisle and Morecambe. But that's it. That's the Easter Monday fixtures. Make sure you subscribe, smash the like. Catch you later, guys and girls. We'll be back very, very soon. But until then, we're done.